finishing high school in the 90s, and it was, you got to go to college, got to go to college, got to go to college. And I didn't like it. I wasn't successful.
How do you figure where you want to go? You really don't. You just kind of get in, and I'd say the key is show up every day.
Everybody wants to know about the money piece, right? And you've said it, it's a good wage. I would call it a great wage.
It's quite shocking.
From your experience, are you satisfied with the benefits that you have at your fingertips? Welcome to the Beyond the Breaker podcast.
This is Beyond the Breaker.
Okay.
And today we have Rob Enos, who will introduce himself, talk a little bit about who the heck he is. But we needed a real electrician because we're going to talk about joining the trades, doing some stuff. Rob, you're an expert on that sort of thing. So that being said, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us a little bit of your story. What the heck is it to be an electrician? How did you do it? And then maybe as we get through some of this, there'll be some things we can leave listeners and viewers with about, so your kid wants to be an electrician. Now what?
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
As Ben mentioned, I'm Rob Enos. Got involved in the electrical trade actually in 1987. Started working as a summer helper program through a local union here where we reside. At the meantime, I was going to college. So my target was a different degree. I had planned to work in speech pathology. And I diverted between my sophomore and junior year in college. Wasn't actually intentional. It was kind of a deal. I was working for an electrical contractor in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and doing deliveries for him. And he sent me to the Apprenticeship Training Committee. I thought I was doing a pickup, and I found out that I was going to be taking a test in 3 minutes.
The old bait and switch.
Yep. So I took the test because I wanted to get paid that day.
Yeah.
And I
You might be the only guy who got paid to take
well,
that test.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I scored well enough. I was in the top 51 that year of 740 some applicants.
Wow.
So I was offered a job. I respectfully declined initially because I was in school and I had a target.
Yeah. Doing the thing.
Several months went by. Apprenticeship director at the time kept reaching out. You sure you don't want this opportunity? So I took the time to go back in and sit with him again and get a better understanding of the process that it would take for me to get to a journeyman wireman. At that particular time, schooling was paid for. I went to school 1 day a week.
Night school?
Day school.
Day school free. Yeah.
Yep. And I got paid for 4 hours of that day that I went to school. So I had 36-hour weeks where I'd work 4 days on the job to get hours on the job, and then 1 day in school. When the apprenticeship director laid it out to me, it seemed like pretty good path, right? Number one, I liked always working with my hands and being involved physically. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a lure. The fact that schooling was compensated for was also another lure. And the fact that when I got out, the wage was competitive, very competitive living. So I think it was kind of all of it. And he was very good at persuading me that with some guidance from, I think, the people that set me up to get in and do that exam, get him into it. Yep. They saw some value with my work ethic as a helper in a summer helper program that they saw, hey, he'd probably be a good asset to the trades.
Right on. So
I went for it.
So then you work through the apprenticeship. You're on different job sites. You're doing lots of different tasks. Kind of give us the wave tops of, you've been at it a while now. Clearly, you keep making that same mistake of showing up, doing the electrical thing, year in, year out.
Yeah.
Kind of what has that journey looked like a little bit as you've developed and learned things professionally?
So it's ever changing, as we know. I think the key for me was to show up every day, right, and be willing to listen to the elders. And fortunately for me, and I'm super grateful for it, I had a lot of people that took the time and patience to teach me along the way, the rights and wrongs. But it wasn't always smooth. There are some clunks along the way in life.
This is real life. I imagine that's true.
It is.
As is every job.
It is. Through my apprenticeship, because of the requirements of the local union I was involved with and still am involved with, we were required to transfer to different shops every 6 months. I believe that's subsided now, which allowed a lot of diversity within each contractor does different styles of work. So it gave me a lot of exposure to different types of work out there. Not only did it do that, it gave me exposure to people within the same organization that I belong to. So I got to build a lot of relationships with people along the way and see the differences of one guy does it this way and one guy does it a different way. Not that one is wrong or one is right, but there are many different ways that we can still get to the same finish line.
Yeah. And I would imagine too, lots of different like communication styles and expectations, from that generation that preceded you in the trades. Maybe some yellers and screamers, maybe some real patient folks who are willing to let you make mistakes and have it be a learning thing.
That's correct.
So I got to imagine there was some impact there too.
Oh, yeah.
And as you look back at your career now and really that change you decided to make in the apprenticeship and all the people you've gone through, what is to you the rewarding, or it doesn't even need to be just one thing, but the rewarding parts of this career and how it would impact your life from 20 years ago to today?
Endless opportunity to learn and plenty of challenges, which I personally enjoy a challenge.
Yeah. The hard things shape us.
They do. And the bottom line is it provided a good living. It educated my children and fed them and has given me a really good living.
Yeah.
For a lot of years.
It's a heck of a thing, man.
Plus, I've been challenged and I continue to learn all the time. There's
your brain's not full yet?
Yeah.
Getting close.
Getting closer. So, you're selling me, yes, this is cool. Yes, it provides benefit for me. I can take pride in my work and, contributing to my family, whatever my goals are, as a member of society, if I want to buy a house or I want to go bass fishing or whatever the heck it is. With that being said, how can we start talking to the entire family? Like maybe it's the kid that wants to go into the trades, or the family that's responding to that. They say, Ma, Dad, I want to join the trades after I'm done with high school. I think it's a good plan for me. Feels like a good fit. So maybe start talking us through a little bit of what would it look like to have that conversation, and how would you tell families to approach that as a really positive option, to blabber a little more. I think about growing up myself, finishing high school in the 90s, and it was, you got to go to college, got to go to college, got to go to college. So I went to college and I didn't like it. I wasn't successful. And I always liked working in the field better than being in a classroom. And it just wasn't acceptable. So how can we help encourage kids, families, people switching careers? What are some of the really good things there, and how should they go about it?
Okay, first and foremost, it's a very competitive wage and it's a good living. So if you think that the monetary follow-up isn't there with this career, you're wrong. It's there. It's a good living, right? A solid living, like I said, to feed your family or go after whatever other goals you want, right? The approach I would take if I was telling a young person today to get involved is to
I'm sure there's at least two of them listening.
Yep, and reach out, please, to the local unions. And I don't want to discredit the non-union sector because there's a lot of brilliant non-union electricians out there.
Oh, heck yeah.
The opportunity wasn't there for me on the non-union sector. It was on the union, so therefore I can speak a lot more frankly about the union side of it because that's where I've been through.
Yeah.
But don't hesitate to reach out to your local unions and see what they have going on for entrance into their apprenticeship. Used to be a requirement for 2 years of trade school. It's no longer a requirement. You can get in without 2 years of trade school. The only hindrance, I'll say, if it's even a hindrance, is without the trade school, you start at a first period where if you have 2 years of accredited trade school, you can bump up to a third period pay, which is about 50% of what a journeyman wireman would be making in the negotiated scales that we're at today.
Yeah.
So it's endless opportunities to learn. There really is.
Yeah, if I can add on to that, and I would just go through kind of the process of reaching out to the local unions, there are so many ways to get into the union. Right? There is obviously the version of go in, sign up, get on the interview list. Mm-hmm. But there's, like you said, trade school options, Dunwoody and St. Paul College, pre-apprenticeship options. And like you also mentioned, the non-union, like, well, yeah, you want to get in the union, that's the ultimate goal. There's value in work experience in everything you do. And for you in your career, like the work experience was making deliveries and talking to the people at the job sites. You kind of had an idea or seeing it in person. Oh, this is what goes on at this. Mm-hmm. That is valuable experience. And that's just a phone call away from somebody explaining to you, probably giving you a sheet of paper that says, follow this line if you want to do this. Follow this line if you want to do that, right? Like I would hope they have it mapped out pretty good at this point.
I would hope so.
And I think too about those conversations, like at the dinner table, you know, where I got teenagers. Rob, I know you got a couple that are older.
Yep. Youngest is 21.
Yep. I think there's been this sort of misnomer in the past where folks think that, hey, college is the best choice. Well, if you can't get in there, maybe you go into the trades. Ooh, that didn't work out. Why don't you join the Marines? And I want to dispel that. And like, I think in the trades, we're looking for people with lots of different skill sets, lots of different interests.
Absolutely.
Because I think there's a crap ton of variety that you can do, even if it's in the electrical trade.
For sure.
Say a little bit about some of the different types of work that you could find yourself in, whether that's as an apprentice or a journeyman. As folks work through it, what are some of the things that you can do as an electrician? Because it ain't just pulling wire. It's not just hanging lights.
Nope. So it depends on what level you get involved with on each particular project. Ground up, if you're running ground up buildings, it starts with the footings. You start understanding more of the structural piece of the trades rather than just electrical. Mm-hmm. I do believe that as electricians, we probably understand the most about all of the trades. We typically are first on the jobs and we're the last ones to leave.
Yeah, and you guys have to touch everybody all the way through, I think.
All the way through. Yeah. We deal with the structural piece from the concrete to the iron workers who are swinging the steel, to the carpenters, to drywall applications, to the ceiling guys, to the carpet people, all the way through.
Yeah,
we are hands-on from start to the last turn screw when we turn it over to the customer.
Right on. So like a kid who's interested in like the social, I don't want to be like social, it's not a party at work, like, but to be able to talk to lots of different folks, to understand their perspectives and what their needs are. You have to be able to do that if you're going to be a contributing team member, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And from that understanding, let's say I'm somebody who, I decide trades are for me. Right out of high school, that's what I'm going to go into. Mm-hmm. I get into, and I work as a pre-apprentice, right? Or I'm a summer helper. Maybe in the field's not exactly what I want to do or realize what I don't want to do, but I really have a keen interest in the electrical systems and how a job or how a project gets built. What are some routes I have from that standpoint? And I'm alluding and lay up to what are the office jobs?
Whether it's on the design side, whether it is in the estimating side, whether it is part of the group that I'm in, we're on the advanced piece on the front side of it now, where we're looking at sleeving footings and constructible pieces on prefabrication of how can we expedite schedules. There's a lot. There's the temperature controls. There's the low voltage systems. It all kind of falls underneath the blanket of the electrician. Mm-hmm. How do you figure where you want to go? You really don't. You just kind of get in, and I'd say the key is show up every day. Be willing to listen and to learn. And don't limit yourself. The door's wide open.
There's a piece there you talked about some of those other potential routes that an electrician can go, whether it was on the design side or assisting with schedules and things like that. But all of that takes some experience, right? You have to have maybe walked a mile in that person's shoes. You have to have some years of experience. If you were thinking about it, does a person need 3, 4, 6, 8 years of field experience to be able to kind of help that translate into somebody who's now going to learn scheduling techniques or design techniques or prefabrication design or things like that?
I think each person's different, Ben, right? And
that's true.
The competence level and how quick they learn is different for all of us.
Sure.
Right? But certainly the exposure helps.
Yeah.
Right? The more exposure we get out there, it can help guide you maybe to something, a path that you think might be more suitable for you. Again, don't be afraid to learn, but don't be afraid to make mistakes either, because making mistakes is a huge part of success. We have to fail to be successful. So if you go down a path and it's not working out for you and you go, hey, this really isn't for me, as far as maybe you're on a light crew, or see if there's opportunities for you to make an adjustment.
Sure.
Feed yourself. Don't be stale. Stale, we're not learning.
No,
Learning's big.
I appreciate that a ton. Like going after stuff that interests you. And sometimes like you stumbled into this, right? You took a test that you didn't know you were being ambushed with. And it turned out, oh, heck, this kind of fits okay. And you might not have ever picked it up otherwise. And I think about like some of the things I've stumbled into in my own career path, which is certainly not linear. And it's like, oh, I never realized I was really going to like that sort of process mapping and diving into details about efficiencies with movement. And, that's great. And I really appreciate you saying too, that there's opportunities there to be hungry, to feed yourself and to go, well, maybe I'll look at underground stuff. Well, maybe I'll look at overhead. Well, maybe I'll look at controls or programming or medium voltage splicing or whatever the heck it is. There's so many different options out there to go get your hands dirty and try something.
Yep.
Love it.
So let's continue on the path of feed yourself, but we're actually going to talk like physically and the stuff people want to know about. I would imagine if somebody's listening to this and they're like, yeah, I could see myself doing that or my child doing that. Everybody wants to know about the money piece, right? And you've said it. It's a good wage. I would call it a great wage, all things considered. In comparison to the average American across the board, it's a great wage in my eyes. See, you brought some notes.
Yep.
Can you just walk us through some of the highlights? And you can be as vague or as detailed as you want of what you have, but explain to the listeners, this is what you're getting paid. It's an hourly wage. So what kind of stats do you have for us?
Okay. So first period apprentice currently in our local union here in Minneapolis, they will start out at a wage of $26.55 an hour. And that's on the check wage. Total benefit package, if you want to put that first period, they don't get much of a benefit package other than some health care, right?
Yeah.
But by the time that you get to a third period apprentice, you're making 50% of a JW wage, which today is $59 on the check. Total package is around $96 to $98 per hour, and that's with all of your benefits being paid, your pensions. If you do the math at 1,800 hours a year. Yeah. I'm going to let you people do the math, but you're talking in excess of a normal journeyman showing up every day today, just showing up to do their job.
Yep, 40 hours, honest
being
work.
Held accountable for honest work is making $106,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's on the check.
Yeah.
Full package deal.
Yeah.
Push you up around 170, 175,000.
And those things
annually.
are real, right? Like
that's real.
The retirement, the health insurance, those benefits matter.
I was just going to say,
absolutely.
From your experience, are you satisfied with the benefits that you have at your fingertips, being a union electrician?
It's quite shocking as I've gotten older now and worked with financial people to look at my retirement.
Yeah.
Of how, I'll say the position I'm in right now is in a lot better shape than I thought that I would have been when I started this 30 years ago. It's quite shocking.
Yeah. Actually. In a really positive way.
Very positive.
Yeah.
And not to downplay anything that you've ever done in your career or anything that anybody in the trades does, but did you have to do anything? Let's talk about that number, right? That number flashing on the screen, you see that and you think back, man, all I really had to do was show up on time, and work hard.
Yep.
Those numbers accumulated by themselves by me just doing those three things.
That's correct.
Right?
Yep.
Obviously, there's opportunities to make more money there, whether it's over time or you jump into field leadership roles, but just from showing up and working hard every day.
Yep.
On the days you're supposed to be there, you're looking at shocking numbers on a screen.
Correct.
From a financial person showing you this what
Absolutely.
you have. I can't help myself but say a lot of people look at the trades as I don't want to go to college or college isn't for me, so this is what I'm going to do, right? It's the alternative option. I don't agree with that. I think a lot of people could look at it as a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 45-year-old, because they can still join the apprenticeship program.
Correct.
As in what you saw, this is what I like to do. This is the path for me. I want to make a great wage and career. This is the path for me. What does it look like for somebody, just call them in high school right now? What's that mindset got to be like, nope, I'm not even going to think about anything else. This is the route I want to take because of X, Y, Z on a job site. Those are for me. What are those things that happen on a job site that fit the personality of somebody who really wants to be in this trade?
Okay. Well, I think to honestly think that any 16 to 18-year-old should know what they want to do for the rest of their life is really unreasonable.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I find myself at my age, and I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up some days, right? I'll be honest. But don't discount the trades. And here's why, okay? Not only the wage piece of it, the people you're going to meet, the projects you're involved with, the understanding of the constructability of what it takes to put buildings together. There's so much educating along the way. It's never stale, let's put it that way. There's opportunities on every single project, no matter if you've done these 10 times or not. There's a better way or something that's going to pop up that's going to make you have to put on your thinking cap for the day and go, hey, we got to figure this one out. But what's been successful for me has been cumulative experience. I look around this crew and I go, somebody has come across this before and use the resources. And then together as a group, you sort that problem out and you keep moving on. You're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to have some challenges, all good challenges, really. How do we solve these problems? You're always problem solving, thinking. You can put together models in the days of the models now. Yeah. And we can have it all. It's going to fit to the 1/8 of an inch and everything's perfect. But real world and real experiences, when we get out there, something's going to be different. And we're going to have to think, come together as a group, figure out a solution so that we can continue to keep the project moving.
And if I can use Ben's line, if I say that back to you, what I heard a lot there is like, if you are somebody who likes to work in a team or with people, and I think as human beings, we all need to make sure and embrace people and working together with our coworkers. If you like to just be in the weeds, right, with a team to get something done, and you can consider the job, whether you're coming from choir and theater and it's performance, or whether you're an athlete and it's a game, like your objective is to complete this job and be successful and safe on it. You do it as a team. Yep. Right. And at the end of the day, you look back at it and be like, okay, this hospital that we just built, that's our championship trophy. Let's go get another one at the next job. You're somebody who enjoys that stuff. Yes, you don't need to know what you're going to do at 16, but this could be a really good career for you.
Absolutely.
And it should be a first look career.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Sure. Solid
Rob,
career.
I want to stir the pot a little bit, little controversy.
Please do.
I think that those of us at this table maybe have a little bias about what we think are the coolest trades. I think there's a couple things that would come to the top. Also, having been in the field and gone through trade school, there's a few that are less desirable and less cool to me. So I'm going to ask you to maybe toss out a couple super cool, medium cool, and what are the trades that you wouldn't do no matter how much they paid you?
You can just be hand motions. You could just be like, yep. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, I want to be careful just not to pick any trades out, right? Because I respect all of them, right? These men and women that are going to work every day and getting up in the mornings. I mean, most construction jobs are early start times, right? And they get up consistently day in and day out to do this for themselves or their families or both. So I don't think there's any that's the bottom of the barrel versus the top of the barrel. It takes all of us to build buildings, hands
All
down,
the way true. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I want to be cautious with the trade stacking. I personally think that electricians are kind of the cream. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
We show up on the job day one, and we finish last day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken a lot of pride in that we're educated people. We know how to collaborate, and we can problem solve.
Yeah.
And between any team that I've ever been involved with, I've never felt the overwhelming, oh no, we're not going to get out of this. There's always been enough security there with the people that I work with to go, we got this.
Yeah. You'll hit that next milestone.
So personally, I think that this is the top trade.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right on.
obviously, I'm biased to it because it's
That's all right.
gave me a hell of a living and
Yeah.
done great for
We
my
all
family.
agree.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the pipe trades are very good,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
I think the pipe fitters
Mm-hmm.
in particular, they get involved with whether it's steam and refrigeration. There's a lot of variety there as well.
And
As you start necking down, I'll say the opportunities are a little narrower, whether you're into the concrete side of it or the carpentry side now has a lot of options, right? Whether you're finished side of it, you're doing finished carpentry, whether you're doing raw carpentry, which is stud framing and sheetrocking, right? Hanging ceilings. There's a lot of variety.
Sure.
But it takes all of us. The
Yeah.
trades, all the trades have to be in sync for us to put together quality buildings for our customers.
I also have bias, but also always looked at the ironworkers and always thought it was really neat, not just flying beams into place and bolting them up, but, the precast panels that are their work, some of the rebar side that's their work.
Mm-hmm.
And then those guys and gals who can walk on a beam and not mess themselves. That's a skill I don't have.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Always thought that was cool. And then as a kid, I was like, man, I want to drive those machines. I want to be an operator. Then I realized if you're stuck in a skid loader all day, every day, that can be maybe less rewarding than if you were looking for a little more variety. Some big machines. Yeah, love it.
You did a really good job of avoiding that question, so I'm going to pose a new one.
Okay, do it.
Rank it 1, 2, and losers. Electricians, pipe fitters, podcasters.
1, 2.
I said the order. So,
Yeah,
fair
we
enough.
got it.
Fair enough.
Rob, I know that we didn't give anybody like an exact playbook here or anything about exactly how to do it, but my hope is that folks who've been listening to this have a pretty clear picture that it's a damn good job.
It is.
And the trades in general are a hell of a place to go as a first look.
For sure.
Before we sign off today, is there anything else you want to leave listeners with, or something we didn't get to that you were feeling passionate about sharing about this? I just open forum, man.
I just don't be afraid to challenge yourself, right? It's whatever you want to make it, right? If you want to be, and I don't want to be derogatory, but just a lunchbox Eddie, right? Or you show up every day and you do your 8 hours and you go home, you're going to make a great living, right? Your stress level will probably be fairly low. If you're willing to take on a little responsibility and you want to be a leader, you can groom yourself with help into whether it's a foreman role or a general foreman role, which ultimately opens up the education piece as well. And then don't be afraid to look at different styles of work in the electrical industry, right? Personally, myself, I got into the healthcare niche. So it was by accident. Project came up. I had done some clean rooms. Hey, it looks like it fits. It was fantastic for me. It put me in hospitals, which hospitals and airports have the highest rate of technology. So they're ever changing. So hospitals were great for me because I was seeing new age equipment, new technology all the time. Kept me engaged. For me, it was fantastic for that staying engaged, right? So that I felt like, hey, I want to get up and go to work today. I got a challenge in front of me, or we've got something to get accomplished. But everybody's different. Every individual's different. You gotta don't feel like it's all collaboration here either. If you're more of introverted personality, where you just kind of like to do your thing and go to work, don't hesitate to get into the trades because the work is out there, and it's a variety, whether it's temperature controls, again, whether it's high voltage, there's so many different avenues within the electrical industry that opens doors for you to go into another avenue of the electrical industry maybe you didn't even know about. A lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I know we've got electricians who are project managers, who are high-level leaders in our organization. We also have electricians who are schedulers. We have electricians who do digital modeling. We have electricians who do QA, QC. We have electricians who do, they do everything.
Kind of, yeah. Put a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
Right? We do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
My pleasure.
I'm good if you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Andrew,
you. I think
got some more hard ones for me?
No. Yeah, I think just in the sense of, having somebody who's experienced the field to talk about this is very valuable. And everybody's different. Everybody's career is different. I would say you did a great job of speaking on behalf of everybody in the field. But we hope to have more people in from the field to talk about their experience and how they view things. Yeah. But we really appreciate you walking through and taking the time to just pitch also. Here's how you get into it from somebody who's done it.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Okay. My pleasure.
We're out.
Thanks a lot.